What's up, guys? Today we are going to hop in our Wayback Machine and revisit a classic, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Obviously it's an oldie but still a goodie. We'll be shooting for the A ranking this time around, so let's go through everything that we need to do in order to get that A rank in the first place. So first and foremost, we have to beat the game in under 4.5 hours. We can't use any aid sprays, but using herbs is just fine. We can't make any saves except for the one save that's at the midpoint of the game. We have to save Steve once he gets trapped after stealing the 2 golden Lugers while he's in the palace. And we have to give the hemostatic medicine to Rodrigo. And obviously this is being done after I've played the game many times over the last 20-something years. We will be using a nice optimized route. We'll skip past some points in the game just so we can avoid backtracking as much as possible. And I'll show you throughout the run where it makes sense to bring what kind of weapon to what different scenarios throughout the game, just to make everything as easy as possible. And I'll be doing this playthrough on the PlayStation 3 HD version of Code Veronica X. I just prefer the shadows and lighting in this one over the original on the PlayStation 2. So with that said, let's go ahead and start a brand new game. We'll dive right in.
Resident Evil.
Now, once we start a new game, I will let you know the timer is still running while you're going through all of the different cutscenes, so we'll skip over those. Now, right when we start, we'll whip out that lighter just to get through the cutscene with Rodrigo. Grab the pack of handgun bullets that are on the chair. There's a green herb inside the jail cell there. Let's go ahead and read that player manual book that's in our inventory just to free up that slot real quick before we move on. Another pack of handgun bullets on the floor right here once we get out that door. We'll run through the cemetery here. We'll skip over that little explosion cutscene. We don't have a gun quite yet, so we're just going to try to run past these zombies the best we can. We'll run forward and skip over that next cutscene. Now we finally have a pistol. Let's whip a 180 real quick. There's a body laying next to this burning truck. Another pack of handgun bullets there. We'll head through the next door and we'll just run forward from here. Let's head up these steps, and right at the end there's another green herb. Now we can head inside here. I would hold on the aim button. Once we're in here, we'll just shoot the one zombie that's to our right. Make sure he's dead so when we come back out of that door, we don't have to deal with him. Let's go to the shelf on the back side of this room. We have another pack of handgun bullets. Now let's head in that door that was to our right when we first entered. We'll go all the way around back to the shower stalls here. Grab some handgun bullets off that dead body. Now we'll grab the handgun bullets off the shelf right in front of this window. There will be a cutscene with a zombie crashing through. He's got some burst fire SMGs on him, so we'll just shoot him enough just to knock him over. We can pick up those SMGs. And let's run out of here all the way out of the building. Go through a couple little cutscenes letting us know that there's some Cerberus dogs around here. Run all the way to the end of the corridor and go through the next door. Then we'll take out all 3 zombies that are in this next area before we head inside. We'll be coming back out here very shortly. Now we have to drop all of our metallic objects in this container before we can continue. That includes our lighter. get rid of all that, we'll run through this corridor here, go through the next door. We'll round the corner in the office here and go through a little cutscene with Steve. We can just skip right over that. Then we'll whip a 180, we'll open the drawer on the desk. We'll pick up that hawk emblem that's in there. Then we can flip the switch where the blinking blue light is on the wall. That will power the switch for the shutter door that was outside before we came in here. Before we head back outside, let's drop this hawk emblem in the 3D scanner. We don't quite have the material that we need to carve that out of yet. So let's turn around, we'll head back down the corridor here. Before we head outside, let's grab our handgun and handgun bullets. We'll hit the switch next to the shutter door here. Now those zombies will bust open the gate door also behind us. We could shoot that explosive cylinder to at least take care of those two. Let's run to the back wall here. We'll pick up this fire extinguisher. Once we kill off these guys, we can head into that gated area, pick up a key right in front of the guillotine. Now from here we're going to head all the way back to that cemetery where we first started. We can use the fire extinguisher to put out that truck fire. Since we have to make 2 trips around, we'll just go ahead and kill all of these zombies on our first trip. Once we put out that fire, that will reveal a silver briefcase on the ground there. Go ahead and pick that up, then we can examine that in our inventory and open it up. That will give us a special non-metallic alloy. That way we can carve that hawk emblem out of that alloy and still make it through that corridor where we can't have metallic objects. Now once we're in this door, let's make an immediate right. We can use that key that we picked up in front of the guillotine on this padlocked gate. Have a little shortcut so we don't have to keep running around all the dogs. We'll drop off all of our metallic objects once more.
Items you have in the security box.
Then we can head over next to that 3D scanner and drop off this non-metallic alloy. Now once we finally have that, let's head back through this corridor one last time, run around these zombies the best you can since we don't have our weapons until we're at the end. But now we'll grab all of the stuff that we left in this container, You can mix the herbs if you need to, just to make some space. We'll have plenty of mixed herbs by the time we hit the end of the game. Now once we're out here, we can use this hawk emblem on the big door to the right. We'll cross this bridge, and then there are 2 green herbs right here in the corner that we can pick up before we continue on. Let's turn back around and go back to that Jeep that's blocking the bridge. Another pack of handgun bullets there. Now we can push this metal crate to cover up some of the fire so we can make it to the staircase here. Now let's take out all 4 of these zombies since we have to make a trip back here later on. And we'll just skip past that first door that we passed by once we got up the staircase, since we don't have the key card that we need to do anything in there quite yet. We'll head up the stairs right at the end of the corridor that brings us to the palace. Since we make so many trips through here, let's go ahead and kill all 3 of the dogs that are in here, just so we don't have to make an attempt to run around them multiple times. Now let's go pick up that item on the ground that's blinking green. One of 3 proofs that we'll need later on in the game. And there's 1 more green herb we can pick up before we go in the front door of the palace right up the steps here. Once we're in here, we'll head upstairs to the right to the safe room first. We'll head to the box and drop off everything that we don't need right now. We'll grab that box of handgun bullets, then let's run down the hallway that's right next to the door there. We'll push this little cabinet out of the way that reveals a key card. That's got a code on the backside that we can use on the computer that's downstairs in the lobby. And if you already know the code for the computer, you can just skip over that step and not even have to grab that key card at all. But once we use that on the computer, we can discard that. Now let's head through that door that we just unlocked. Grab some handgun bullets right next to that vase at the end of the hallway. We'll kill all 4 of the zombies that are in here since we have to make multiple trips through this hallway. There's a red herb that we can pick up right here next to the bench in this hallway. Then let's head in the door at the end of the hallway. Grab those bullets off the table. Then we'll interact with the display that has the blinking blue light. That will play another cutscene. We can just skip right over that. Open up a little secret passage. Don't even bother with the golden Lugers. We'll just grab the steering wheel that's on the floor. Now let's head back to the front door of the palace. Once we try to interact with that, we'll hear a scream from Steve. Yeah! We can skip over the rest of the cutscene and just go back into that room we just came from to save him. One of our requirements for the A rank. So we'll interact with this console over here. We'll just pick C and E, since we already have the information we need from all the displays that are around this room. Looks like he stole the golden Lugers. We can skip over that cutscene. Now we can finally head out the front door of the palace. We'll have another little cutscene out here in the lobby. We can skip over that. We'll finally head out the front door and take a right once we get outside. At the bottom of the stairs, let's actually turn around and go behind the stairs. There's another box of bullets we can find right there. And now we can place that steering wheel that we just found right here. That will bring up a little submarine that we can traverse the map with. Once we first get into the submarine, let's turn around and look on the little cot that's in here. We have a side pack we can put on to expand our inventory space. Now let's interact with the switch, go through the little cutscene. Let's head downstairs, and once we're through this next door, there's a box of bullets on the big couch that's in here. We'll grab those and then head to the other side of the room and head through the shutter door. We can kill this one zombie that's in our way just so he's not in our way when we come back. We'll cross the bridge and go through the next shutter door. Once we're through, let's take the lift that's in the corner to the right. Interact with the console here to move the big claw so we can move that big storage container. Now let's head back down the lift. We'll go to where that storage container was, and there's a panel on the wall we can interact with. That will bring up a bigger lift with a bunch of zombies on it. But I wouldn't even waste your bullets, just back into the corner and wait for them to group up. We can kind of kite them around a little bit. So once they're in a group, just run around them. Right on the crate in the corner of the lift here, there's a key card. We'll grab that and we'll just kind of wait for them to group up and get closer to us now. Run around them once again. We'll head back out the shutter door that we came in here through. We'll just keep on running through all of these doors and get back to that submarine. We can head upstairs and we'll just keep running right past the palace. We'll go back to that first door that we skipped over. We finally have the key card that we need to interact with the shutter doors that are inside that building. Once we head through this door, we can skip over the cutscene with the giant worm. Don't even worry about the giant worm, just head in through the doors. We'll head to the right and head up the stairs right when we enter this building. Go to the door that's at the end of the hallway. I'm not a huge fan of the crossbow in this game, so I don't even use it, but we do have to pick it up to trigger the next cutscene and the next sequence of the game. We can skip over that cutscene. They'll tell us there's a picture with a number on it inside that quarantine room. We can't quite make out the number on it, but we'll come back to that later. Skip over the next cutscene and we'll end up downstairs with that shutter door closed. We'll use our key card to get through the next shutter door. And if you want, before we go through there, we can turn around and hit the bench right next to the phone booths. There's another red herb we can pick up. Don't even bother with the other two doors in there. And once we get through this shutter door, it will actually close behind us. We'll go through another sniper cutscene out here, just try to avoid his shots as best as possible. We'll head through the only unlocked door that's up here at the top of the stairs. Go all the way to the end of the hallway, and right next to the vending machine there are 2 boxes of handgun bullets we can pick up. Then we'll head through that silver door, brings us into another safe room. There's a green herb right in front of the table with the typewriter on top. Another green herb right in the corner by the 2 couches here. And that twinkle that's on the couch is the hemostatic medicine that we have to bring to Rodrigo a little later on. We'll drop off all the stuff that we don't really need. And since I don't use that crossbow, I'm going to put that pretty deep into the chest here. And before we move on to the next section, let's make sure we grab our burst fire SMGs. Go through the door that's right to the right of the safe room. We'll go through a little cutscene that shuts that shutter door in the hallway. Now once we're here, let's go to Claire's left. We'll pick up 2 fully auto submachine guns that don't have any ammo. Now right when we run past that door, we'll go through a little cutscene that will introduce us to our first Bandersnatch. Hopefully he stretches his arm across the room and goes over there. We can run back to where we got the SMGs and just start unloading on him with our SMGs. Now we'll head downstairs. We'll skip over the next couple cutscenes with another Bandersnatch and an elevator ride with Steve. Then we'll actually switch over to play as Steve in the basement for a little while. We'll use our fully auto SMGs to take out all of the enemies that are down here just to clear a path for Claire. Now we'll head up these stairs through the next door into the elevator. Skip that next cutscene. Let's follow behind Steve out the next door. We'll run right up to him and that walkway will break. Skip over the next two cutscenes, and he will end up giving us the 2 golden Lugers after both of those cutscenes. Now once we're finally back to controlling Claire, let's re-equip our handgun. We'll hop on this crate in the back corner of the room. Another box of handgun bullets up here. Now let's go through that single door next to the Jeep here. There's another box of handgun bullets in the corner of the room on the floor. We'll take out both of the zombies that are in here. Now let's head through that door at the end of the hall. We'll grab that crest where we can see that there was obviously a painting hanging on the wall at one point. Another little clue for when we grab that painting out of the quarantine room a little bit later on. Now let's head back out of here and go back to where we had all of the cutscenes with Steve next to that Jeep. We'll head out the double doors this time around. There are some dogs in this section with the tank, so let's just run to the next door real quick. And once again, we don't have to worry about the giant worm. We'll just run to the double doors back inside the building here. We'll use our key card to get through that second shutter door once again. And out here, instead of that sniper, there will be a couple of dogs this time. Don't even worry about them, just run to the staircase. And right in the middle of this balcony, we can use that crest that we just found. That will provide us with another emblem keycard that we can use on the blue card swipers. We'll head in this door towards the safe room. Use our biohazard keycard to open up this shutter. We could skip over this part if we wanted to, but it's good to open this shutter door so when we open the rest of the doors with the biohazard keycard, we can just discard that when we don't need it anymore. And this way we can head to the safe room and drop off the golden Lugers. We don't need those quite yet. Now let's turn back around. We'll head back down these stone steps. But instead of going back inside, we'll just run across into the fenced off area here. There's a ladder we can go down. That will bring us down to the basement ventilation area where we played as Steve just a little bit ago. We'll use that emblem keycard on the keycard swiper down here to open this gate. We'll head right and up the steps through this door. Then just continue straight across through the next door. We'll grab another box of handgun bullets from the shelf over here. Then let's head back out of here. We'll use our emblem keycard on the blue keycard swiper here to open this gate. We have a grenade launcher we can grab. And before we leave, let's turn around and go to that shelf. There's some more grenade rounds that we can grab. We can just load those right into the grenade launcher. Now we'll head back through the basement over to the elevator. Let's head up to the second floor. We'll use that emblem keycard on this shutter right here. That should be the last one, so now we can discard that. Let's head up the steps directly to the right. There are some more grenade rounds right under this chair in front of this console. We can load those right into our grenade launcher just to keep our inventory open. Now we'll head to the front of this room. A couple more green herbs we can pick up off the floor. Now go to where the blinking red light is. That's another proof that we need later on. And now we can view the security camera footage for that quarantine room where the painting is. Let's swing the camera over and then we'll zoom in, just so we can see the number that's on there. 1126. Now both of the zombies that are in here will come to life. We'll take care of both of them real quick, just because we'll be coming back through here at least one more time. Then we can unlock this door from this side. We'll head back downstairs. We'll go back to that first shutter door that we entered when we first entered this building, so we can head back up to that room where we collected the crossbow. We'll use that code that we just got from the painting to get into that door to grab the painting itself. So let's interact with that panel. We'll enter 1126. Right to the right on the desk in here, there are some acid rounds for the grenade launcher we can grab. You don't absolutely need those, you might not even use them. But now let's go to the back of the room and we'll grab the painting off the wall. We'll go through an unskippable cutscene where we're introduced to the albinoids, or the infant versions of them anyways.
Emergency shutters will close. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Don't even bother shooting them. Let's just try to get out of this room as quick as we possibly can. You might get shocked a couple times. Now let's head all the way back downstairs. That shutter will shut behind us. That's the last time we have to go through there. Now let's go out the front door and we'll take a left and go through that door to bring us back to the tank. We'll head through the double doors in there. Now back through the single door here. Now two more zombies have spawned in this hallway once again. Let's take them out. We'll head back into that room that's at the end of the hallway and place the painting where we first found that blue crest. That will open up the wall right next to us here. We can grab a gold key from the palace model now that that's exposed. Now once we have our hands on that gold key, we're going to head all the way back to the palace. once we get out this door here, before we go any further, let's equip our SMGs real quick. There will be a couple Bandersnatches coming up over the railings over here. We'll take care of them real fast before they have a chance to annoy us with their stretchy arm. Now once we get into the palace, we're going to head upstairs to the safe room. We're going to use the 2 gold Lugers to get through the door that's in there. We'll be heading up to the castle to grab the silver key before we go downstairs to try to use our gold key. That way we have both of them on us at the same time, so we don't have to backtrack and go down there 2 different times. Let's head to the box. We'll drop off a few things and grab the golden Lugers. Then we can head to the door at the end of this hallway. Select those and push use. So right when we get into this room, let's pick up those handgun bullets off the table. Then we're going to equip our SMGs. We'll have to deal with a Bandersnatch here in a minute. We'll head behind the desk and interact with that computer. That plays a little cutscene that lets us know we can pluck the wings off of the Dragonfly key later on in the game. And you can interact with the music box if you want to figure out how we end up getting the code. But the code is 1971. Now right after this, when we try to move away from the desk, there's going to be a Bandersnatch coming through the window that's right behind us. So we'll run for that secret passageway that just opened up as quick as possible. We already have our SMGs equipped, so let's just hang out in this hallway for a little bit until he comes through that secret passage doorway. We'll take him out since we got to come through here a couple different times. Now once we get up the staircase right across the bridge, there's going to be 2 more Bandersnatches in the area right in front of the castle. You can run around them easy enough. We'll just run straight to the front door. We'll head inside and head straight up the stairs. We'll just keep on running around until we get to the top level and to the next door. You might get munched on by some bats on the way up there. It's not really worth the ammo to try to take them out. Right through this door, we can skip through the cutscene that plays right after we enter. We'll end up at the end of the hallway. Let's pick up that herb. We'll go ahead and use that if we ended up getting munched on by the bats. We'll head in the door that's right here. Interact with that music box. We'll stop that. That will shut. That will get the top half of that bed to raise up and reveal the silver key that we came up here for. Now let's head back into the hallway. Right next to the door on that cabinet by the lamp, we can grab 1 more box of handgun bullets. Now once we're out this door, let's head to that knocked over chair that's right next to that small table. Another box of handgun bullets we can grab. Now let's get the heck out of here, go all the way downstairs, back across the bridge into the palace. And the reason I don't take out those Bandersnatches is just because they keep respawning every time you go through that area anyways. So it's better to just save your ammo and run around them as best you can. Now once we exit the safe room, let's go to the other side of the upper floor here. We're not going to enter this room, we're just going to use that silver key to unlock it. That way once we unlock the door that's downstairs, we can discard that when we're done with it. We'll head back into that hallway where we had to save Steve earlier on. Unlock the first set of doors with that silver key. Then we'll equip our SMGs and take out the Bandersnatches that are in here. You might get beat up pretty bad by them just because you can't really run far enough away from them where they can't reach you. Keep unloading on them until they're dead. Then we'll grab another blue crest from the middle of the floor in between the conference table that's in here. Another box of handgun bullets on the chair in the side of the room, then we can get out of here. We'll head to the other end of the hallway and use the gold key. And in here there's a riddle that we need to solve so we know which order to push the buttons. But since we've already solved for that, just go ahead and follow along. Now once we have all those, we can head up these little steps and push the last switch. That will make the wall turn around and there's a vase that we can grab. Then let's inspect that in our inventory. We'll tilt that down and look in the top. We'll get the red queen ant object. That's for one of the music boxes up in the castle. Now let's head back into that safe room that's upstairs in the palace. We have this other blue crest that we can go stick inside the door that's right next to that guillotine that we interacted with to get the padlock key earlier in the game. So while we're headed that way, let's stop at the box and we'll grab that hemostatic medicine that we can give to Rodrigo while we're over there. And we're going to head back to Rodrigo first and give him that medicine because then we can trade him our lighter for a lockpick. We'll need the lockpick in the next area that we open up with that blue crest. We'll be using that to open up a briefcase that has some gun parts that we can use to upgrade our handgun. Since we'll be coming back through this graveyard once again, we'll take out all the zombies in here. Give that medicine to Rodrigo, and there you can see we traded our lighter for a lockpick. Now, even though we killed all of the zombies in this gated area earlier, there will be a couple more that have spawned in since we've been gone. We'll take them out, and then we can stick that blue crest in the door right next to the guillotine. Just make sure your handgun is loaded. There will be 2 more zombies behind that door once it opens. Now once we go through the next door, there will be 2 zombies right in front of you, plus an explosive cylinder that we can shoot to kill them both. Didn't really work out as planned, but we got the job done one way or the other. Let's head to the end of the corridor and go through this chain link fence door. There's some handgun bullets right in the corner that we can't see. We'll just have to interact with that to find them. And then let's hop over that crate and we'll push that out of the way of that door. This brings us into that little office where we met Steve earlier on in the game. We'll head into the room where that 3D scanner was. We'll pick up a couple different kinds of grenade rounds from in here. And make sure you absolutely pick up both types of these grenade rounds. We're going to use both sets of these to fight the tyrant on the airplane here in a little bit. Now let's head back outside and we're going to make a pit stop at this box. Drop off those grenade rounds that we just grabbed. We'll head back to the other end of this corridor and go in the door to this building right to our right. There's some handgun rounds right there to the left of the doorway right when we walk in. We'll head to the door in the back of the room here. Leads us to the crematorium. We'll kill the first couple zombies in here, and then right in the corner there's a red herb. And you can either kill the other 2 zombies or just run around them. We'll run to the back corner of the room and pick up that briefcase that has the handgun parts inside. That's the reason we needed to grab the lockpick first. Then we can lockpick that open and upgrade our handgun right away. Another box of handgun bullets on the other end of the table here. And now we can switch our handgun in between semi-automatic and burst fire. That makes taking down zombies that much faster. Now once we're out of the crematorium, let's go to the middle of the room here. We'll go through a little cutscene. We have a researcher zombie here that we need an eyeball from. And he's tougher than most zombies, so this burst fire handgun really comes in handy with him. Let's grab the fake eyeball that's blinking that he drops. We'll head into the back room and place that in the model that's back here. That will open up a secret door in the wall. Let's head downstairs and just walk slowly through this hallway, then the bats won't get all riled up and start chewing on you. If you run through this hallway, that will send them into a frenzy, and they'll start biting you on your way through here. We'll take out all of the zombies that are in here. We can grab some handgun bullets off that little side table right next to that chair. Then we'll head to the back left corner of the room and head downstairs. Grab that sword from the statue on the wall. The door will end up locking. The statue in the middle will raise up out of the floor, and the room will start to fill with poisonous gas. So we'll have to turn that into its right position. That will stop the gas and lower that. The statue on the wall will turn around, revealing an Iron Maiden. Let's go ahead and use the sword on that slot. A zombie will come bursting out of there, so go ahead and take him out or at least knock him down. We'll grab the piano roll that's in the bottom of that Iron Maiden. Now we can get out of here completely and head back to the palace. Once we interact with the front door of the palace, we'll have our first cutscene that we can skip with Albert Wesker. But now let's head inside, and we're going to head upstairs and go through that first door that we unlocked with the silver key earlier on. Right on the podium in the back corner of the room, we can grab a box of handgun bullets. Then we'll go stick this piano roll in the piano that's over here. That will open up a hatch on the bottom of one of the slot machines, revealing the blue king ant object. Now we have the blue king ant object and the red queen ant object, so let's head back across the hallway to the safe room. We'll grab the red one out of the box, and then we're going to head back up to the castle. This time around, there's going to be a whole bunch of zombies on this bridge, so we'll have to take some time to take them all out before we can cross safely. And once again up these stairs, we're in that same area where there were Bandersnatches earlier. They won't show up right away, but they'll come hopping over the walls. Don't even worry about them, we'll just head in the front door of the castle. And we traded the bats inside here for some zombies. We don't really have to worry about the ones on the bottom floor. We'll just take out the ones that are on our way upstairs. And more zombies have spawned in this hallway also, so we'll have to take them out before we can get into our first door on the right side of the hallway over here. Now we'll use our red queen ant object on that music box. Then we can pull the music box plate out of that music box. We'll head all the way to the other side of the hallway and go in the other door. Just be careful of the one zombie that's hiding around the corner over here. Now once we're in here, we can use our blue king ant object on this music box. Then we can place the music plate in there. That will lower down the top half of that bed, revealing a ladder that takes us up to the next level. So let's hop up there and go up that ladder. We'll get off of this carousel and go right on the other side behind us. Right on that chair is the silver dragonfly key. Once we grab that, let's check that in our inventory and we'll pluck the wings off. Now we can head back to the other side of the carousel. We'll stick the dragonfly key in the mouth of the ant that's on the wall. That will turn around the carousel and line up this ladder with the ladder that brings us up one more level. So let's go ahead and head up there. Let's head straight forward to that chair. You can barely see them, but on the floor is another box of handgun bullets. Then we'll push this crate to the right side of the room. You can see the book shining up there. We'll climb up on top of the crate and grab that. Then the last proof that we need is right under the book. Now let's climb down both of these ladders. Now once we try to get out this door, we're going to go through one cutscene and then Steve ends up in the room with us. We'll interact with that blonde wig that's on the music box and we'll go through another cutscene that we can skip over. Now we can finally head out of here and go through the castle back to the palace. Once we're out the front door of the palace, you don't really need the red herb that's tucked in the corner by the railing here, but I'm just going to grab that because I like to hoard herbs. Could probably shave another 20 minutes off of this run if I didn't stop to grab all of the different herbs. Once we're back to the safe room, let's make a stop at the box. Drop off whatever items we have that we don't need. Then we'll grab the other 2 proofs that are in there. We'll bring those along with us to the plane. Now we're going to head back outside of the palace and we're going to go take that submarine across the map once again.
Claire!
The self-destruct system has been activated.
We gotta get to that airport!
Evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate.
We'll follow Steve down the stairs, then we'll head to the left side of the room. We can just run around the 2 zombies that are in here, no problem. We'll interact with the panel that's out here to get that platform to come back towards us.
All personnel evacuate immediately.
Then we can put all 3 of the proofs that we have in each one of their slots.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Now we can finally hit the switch that brings us down to the airplane.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately.
We can skip all the different cutscenes that we go through once we're in here, and we'll grab that control lever that's on the floor. Make sure we don't forget that.
The self-destruct system has been.
Let's make a stop at the box that's in here. We're going to grab our grenade launcher loaded up with regular grenade ammunition. We'll need that on our way back here after we raise up the bridge to get out of the way of the airplane.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been activated.
So once we're back in here, let's just make a 180 and go back through that shutter door.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately.
We'll go across the bridge and head up the lift in the next room.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Now we'll head to this door that we skipped over earlier. We'll put the control lever on this panel here.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate.
Then we can interact with that and pull the lever. That will raise up the bridge.
The self-destruct system has been activated.
Let's run across the bridge into the next room. There will be a pile of zombies that we don't have to worry about as Claire. We'll grab the airport key from in the middle of all them.
Destruct system has been activated. All personnel.
Now we can turn back around. We'll go back across the bridge and go down the lift.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately.
We'll use that airport key on the blinking red panel at the bottom of the lift.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Now once we're in here, let's grab all of the items that we can grab while we're in here. We have more regular grenades for our launcher, some handgun bullets, and then a couple green herbs back here against the wall.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate. The self-destruct system.
Now let's push this metal crate into the elevator.
All personnel evacuate.
We'll hop over the next one and push that all the way to the other side before we shove that in there.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system.
That will finally get that elevator in working order.
All personnel evacuate immediately. 5 minutes until detonation.
Now while we're in this elevator, we can skip through a whole bunch of different cutscenes that play while we're in here.
I will not allow.
The self-destruct system.
We'll head right to the right and go out the smaller door next to the elevator. Now the tyrant is going to come blasting out of that fenced-in area right on the right side while we're going down this corridor. Just keep blasting him with the grenade launcher until he's finally down. Now we'll head up the steps and run right past the palace all the way down to the submarine once again.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. The self-destruct system has been.
We'll head through this door and head through the next door on the left side of the room to take us back to the airplane.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Now we'll have a whole bunch of cutscenes playing that we can skip over.
What took you so long?
Has been activated.
We made it!
All personnel.
Once we're finally done with all of those, let's hit up the box. We're going to have another tyrant fight in the back of the airplane real quick. So let's grab the BOW rounds and the flame rounds. We'll load up the launcher with the BOW rounds first. Then we'll just grab some healing items out of the box before we go into the fight. We can skip over that cutscene. Make sure we can see the tyrant on screen. We'll shoot him with all 3 of the BOW rounds. Then let's run away from him. We'll load up the flame rounds next. Shoot him with all 6 of those. Now once we know we've hit him with all of those rounds, we can interact with that panel, and that guarantees that the big crate that flies into him will shove him off the airplane. We'll go through 2 more cutscenes after that fight, and then we can make our midway point save. That's the only save that we are allowed in the whole entire game for A rank. After we make that save, we can skip over the next cutscene and continue right along with the second half of the game. We'll head straight for the ladder and go down to the next level, and then we'll head all the way to the end of the staircase. Let's go straight at the bottom of the staircase through the door to our next safe room. Let's pick up the green herb that's in here. We'll heal ourselves. We'll throw all of our regular grenades back in the grenade launcher. We'll reload our handgun. Then we'll toss everything else in the box except for our handgun bullets, and a grenade launcher. Now we can head back out into the hallway and deal with what I personally believe is the worst part of the game. The moths that are in here will either sprinkle poison mist or lay a poison little slug on your back. So it's damn near a miracle if you can make it through this hallway without being poisoned. We'll just run past all of these zombies that are in here. We're going to head to the back left corner of the room. Head through the next door. We'll use our grenade launcher to kill the 2 spiders that are in here. We can pick up 2 boxes of handgun ammo off the crate right there. Now right in front of that cell we have a blue and a green herb we can pick up. Now let's head back to the stack of crates here. We can pick up that barcode sticker. Let's head out of this door and we'll go straight across the hall to the weapons room. The item that was blinking on top of that crate that it just showed us is a Magnum. We can't pick that up until we're playing as Chris Redfield. So once we're in here, let's take care of the first 3 zombies that we come across. Right at the bottom of the conveyor system, we can pick up our mining room key. We'll kill this zombie, then we'll open up this green cabinet, grab our assault rifle. Now we'll head back out to the main conveyor room here. Let's head into this little cove in between all the machines. We'll stick our barcode sticker on the crate that's down here, just to free up a little space before we go into the next room. We'll head up these steps and use our mining room key on the next door. We can discard that when we're done with it. Now let's head to the right and we're going to hop up here. There's a pipe with a certain shaped valve that we have to inspect. That way Claire knows what shape the valve handle has to be when we get to that point. Now we can hop back down here and we'll head in the double doors at the end of the room. Run straight and we'll grab both of the herbs off the floor. And 2 boxes of handgun bullets right there. We'll make sure our handgun is loaded. We'll have 3 dogs we have to kill in this room. One right around the corner from us right here. We'll head straight under this little walkway and we'll flip the switch here. Turn on the generator. And then right on the back side of that switch, beware there's another dog, but another 2 green herbs we can pick up. Run into this little open space to Claire's left to kill the last dog. There's 1 more green herb on the floor we can pick up. Let's combine all 3 of those just to free up some space in our inventory. Then in that open space we can flip a switch to supply power to the rest of the plant. That will get the conveyor system moving. So now let's head back to that spot where we put the barcode sticker on the crate. We'll flip the switch on the panel on the wall there. That will get that crate moving into the weapons room. Then let's interact with this console here and get that conveyor moving. That will spread poison gas in the room where we killed those spiders earlier on. So now we can head back in there, and now that there's poison gas in there, we can grab the gas mask. Now we can head out of here entirely and go back to the safe room that's down the hall. Deal with these god-awful moths that are out here. Let's hit the box. We can finally put away our grenade launcher. We'll get rid of all of our healing items. We'll just hang on to our handgun, assault rifle, and gas mask, and then we'll take out our burst fire SMGs from the box. We'll leave the handgun bullets behind for when we switch over to Chris. Now let's push this bookcase back into the little secret passage back here. Open up the locker that's at the end of the hall. Go ahead and flip the switch that's in there. Now let's head back into this little secret area. We'll pick up the pot that's on the floor in the corner. Let's immediately go into our inventory and check that. We'll tilt that up to get the key from the bottom. Now let's get out of the safe room and we'll head back upstairs. Let's head through the double doors at the other end of this little walkway here. We'll head left when we get through here. That blue key that we just picked up will open our next door. Go ahead and discard that when we're done. Then we can run through here into the next door, and right at the end of this walkway we can pick up our valve handle. Now once we head back through here, Steve will be in here. We can skip over the next two cutscenes that we have with him.
Claire!
We'll run to the opposite side of this walkway and go in through the next door. We'll carve out the shape that we got from that gas pipe valve earlier on into our valve handle. We can pick up the blue and green herbs that are on the floor in here. We'll place our valve handle in the machine. We'll leave the box of handgun bullets on the table for Chris for later, but we'll grab the bullets that are right here on this console since those won't be here after this place gets blown up. Now we can run back downstairs to that mining room. We're just about to fight Nosferatu. We can just run past all of the zombies in here. We'll need that gas mask going in here, so make sure we still have that. Then we'll go use that valve handle on the gas pipe over here. We'll skip through all of the next cutscenes that play. Then let's hop down and we'll grab that sniper rifle. If you can get lucky and actually hit Nosferatu in the heart 4 times with that sniper rifle, that's all it takes to kill him. Or if you're really good, you can use the knife to kill him. But we're not going to do any of that. That's why we brought along the SMGs and the assault rifle. Skip over the next 2 cutscenes with Steve.
Are you ready?
End up on the helipad out here. Before we interact with that stairway, let's go to the bottom left corner. And we'll pick up a box of handgun bullets. Now we can go try to walk down the stairs, and that will trigger the boss fight. And just try to stay away from his poison mist as much as possible. As long as Claire doesn't get poisoned, everything will be fine. If she does get poisoned, that adds a lot of extra work and backtracking when we're playing as Chris. So just keep running in circles around him, try to pay attention to what direction the wind is going, that's the way the mist will blow. We can get hit a few times, just try not to get hit too much. But we'll waste all 7 of those sniper shots shooting him. Sometimes you might get lucky and hit him in the heart, but it's really hard to see through the blowing snow, and he's always twisting and turning around, so it's really hard to hit him directly in the heart that 4 times that you need to. Then we'll use up the rest of our ammo from those SMGs. Just keep running around in circles from corner to corner, just to stay away from him and his poison mist. And finally, we can whip out that assault rifle and just start unloading on him. That should have plenty of ammo in it to bring you to the end of the fight. Once we hit that cutscene, we can go ahead and skip through that. We know we've won. Now we'll switch over to playing as Chris. We'll have a little cutscene with Rodrigo. We can skip over that. We don't have to save him while we're playing as Chris. We already did what was required as Claire. Let's stop off at the box. We'll unload that aid spray and the knife. Grab those handgun bullets that we left behind as Claire. Now let's go ahead and equip our handgun before we continue on. Once we get in here, we have that giant worm popping out of the ground once again. So let's just head to the end of the corridor. We'll interact with the elevator to get that moving. Let's keep running circles around this room while we hug up against the wall. We'll pick up all of the herbs and the handgun bullets that are in here. By the time we're done running around and picking those items up, the elevator should be here. Now we end up back in this room where we initially fell through the walkway with Steve earlier on while we were playing as Claire. So let's kill all of the zombies that are in here. We'll head out the bigger double doors here to where the tank is. Let's head to the back of the tank. There's a switch that we can push that will move that out of the way, revealing a lift that brings us downstairs. But before we go down the lift, right behind the tank is a box of handgun bullets that we can barely see. Let's pick those up. Now let's head down the lift. That will bring us down to a hallway with a safe room on the other side. Right here on the floor in the corner we have some shotgun shells and a couple herbs we can pick up. Now let's run to the very end of the hallway and pick up the car battery that's down here. Once we pick up that battery, that will trigger a spider to come out of one of the vents. We can just run right past that and head in the safe room door. Now inside the safe room, there's plenty of stuff we can pick up while we're in here. More shotgun shells, more handgun bullets. We'll grab all that before we head to the box the first time. Drop off the shotgun shells and all of the different herbs that we just picked up. We can do a bit of mixing while we're here. We'll mix the blue herbs with our green and red mixtures. We'll save those for the very last boss fight because we can take poison damage while we're fighting her. Now let's pick up the one green herb and some acid rounds from the locker. Then we'll drop off all of our single herbs and those acid rounds before we leave. We'll keep the handgun and handgun bullets on us and grab the grenade launcher. Chris will eventually need that to deal with some hunters. Now we can head out of here and go back to the other end of the hallway and go back up the lift. We'll use that car battery on the yellow lift that we saw in this room earlier when we came off the elevator. That will raise us up to the next floor. Once we're up here, let's take a left. We'll grab the chem storage key off the little table over here. Then we can head through the next door. We can skip through all of the different cutscenes that play once we get into this hallway. We'll turn back around and head out this door to the courtyard. That will trigger a little cutscene showing that crest falling to an area underground. We just need to find our way down there. So let's head in here. We're going to kill all 3 of the zombies that are in here. We have a side pack that we can grab while we're in here to expand our inventory space. I would recommend coming this way and having that cutscene play where the crest drops underground and grabbing this side pack before you go any further. Now let's head back out and we'll run across the courtyard to the elevator. We're going to head down to the basement. And somewhere along the lines behind the scenes, somebody put a shotgun in that little fixture to lower down the staircase that comes off this walkway. Let's head down there. We're just going to leave the shotgun alone for right now. We can pick up some handgun bullets off the floor here, and some flame rounds for the grenade launcher off the shelf in the corner. Then we'll head through the next door. In here, we can head upstairs and interact with the panel that's right next to the upstairs door. That will lower down one of the pods and reveal some assault rifle ammo. We'll grab that on our way back through here in a little bit. Now let's head through these doors. We'll go forward and to the left to enter the chem storage room. We have some shotgun shells and handgun bullets we can pick up in here, along with a red and a blue herb. Once we have all those items picked up, let's go ahead and interact with the chem storage fridge here. We'll use the chem storage key to unlock that. Chris doesn't quite know what he's looking at, so we're going to adjust the temperature of the fridge. We'll adjust that to 128. We can watch that liquid turn blue. Then we can finally grab that and head back out of here. We'll go straight across to the lift that's right outside this door. Grab the door handle that's laying on the floor. Now be careful because this is where some hunters finally show up. We can skip all of those cutscenes and we'll just run to those double doors where we initially entered this area. We'll grab that clip of assault rifle ammo on our way by. Now we'll head back through the basement up the stairs to the elevator once again. This time we'll head back up to the second floor. Now we can take care of the zombies that are in here. We'll head back out the side door across the courtyard into the next door where we initially picked up our side pack. Now just be careful of some of these scanners that pop up in these hallways once in a while. If one of them catches you, a hunter will spawn in the room with you. But we'll head around the room to the next door. We can stick the doorknob on this broken door here. We'll head through there and take a left. And grab the toy tank off the table at the end of the walkway. Once we have that, let's go back through and we'll go back to the elevator and go back down to the first floor. Try to wait for the gap in that scanning just so you could run past without getting caught. Now once we're back on the first floor, we'll head to the end of the hallway. Be careful because there is another scanner in here now. This is where we put that painting on the wall earlier to reveal the model of the palace. We'll use the toy tank on the model. That will end up sliding that painting over and revealing a key with a book. That's a key to the turntable downstairs by the chem storage room, where we picked up the door handle just a little bit ago. So now let's head back to the elevator and go back down to the basement. Once you get upstairs in this room, skip over the cutscene and then you'll have a Bandersnatch in here with you. We can just run right past him, head through the door and head to that turntable. Now this brings us up to the first floor of the building where we used the biohazard card as Claire earlier on. Now as Chris, we can go in that side door that we skipped over as Claire earlier. This is our only path through here as Chris, now that everything has been blown up. But have your finger ready on the aim key. We'll take out the first zombie that we run into and grab the shotgun shells off the floor. Hidden behind the table and chairs, we have a green herb. Now let's make our 3 herb mixture just to free up some space in our inventory. Take care of the other 2 zombies in this room. Let's look inside this locker and grab the acid rounds that we have in here. We'll head through the next door and we'll be on the bottom side of that courtyard where the dogs were running around earlier where we first got sniped. We'll take that ladder on the other side of the fence to go down into the ventilation area of the basement. Now as Chris, we can interact with the switch to turn on the fans. That will suck out all the poison gas that's been floating around down here. Now if you want, you can take out all of the zombies in here just to make it a little bit easier, or we can just run around them and head through the next door up the steps. But just be warned, once we go through this door, run straight across to the next door because there's a hunter in here. Let's run around this corner and we can interact with this table to upgrade our handgun. And the second half of the chemical that we need is right to our left on the shelf. We'll grab that and we can mix those both together. Head out of here, run straight across to the next door to avoid the hunter. Now we'll run back through the ventilation area here and go right back up that ladder up to the courtyard. We'll need that chemical to melt down the blue part of that crest that we're about to go grab. And so we're left over with just the gold piece that's inside of it. So let's run all the way back to the front door of the building here where we got off the turntable. But we'll actually go out the front door. Just be careful once we're outside the front door, there are 2 hunters. We'll want to turn to Chris's right and run straight for that elevator. Hopefully we can make it without getting slashed. And just a forewarning again, once we come back up this elevator, both of those hunters will be poisonous hunters, so we'll try to avoid them at all costs the second time around also. But let's stop at the box in here. We'll drop off everything that we don't need. You don't have to mix up all these herbs right now if you don't want. I just like to keep up on it so I don't have to waste so much time at the end of the game. But now let's equip our grenade launcher. We're going to be dealing with nothing but hunters here for a minute. We'll run out this first shutter, run all the way to the next shutter, and then turn around and aim at the hunter to kill him. Now we can head up the lift in the corner that was right next to that airport door. We'll interact with this panel here to try to lower that bridge. It's going to get stuck, so we'll have to go across the bridge into that room where we found the airport door key. We'll have to regulate the pressure so it works again. Interact with the panel that has the blue lights on it here. We have a vial with 3 units and a vial with 5 units, and we only need 7 out of 10 units to make it work. In order to do that, let's dump the vial with 3 units in there 3 different times to bring us up to 9. That will only drain 1 unit out of the 5, leaving us with 4 in that one. So then we can empty the 10. We'll mix the 4 and the 3 to make the 7 units that we need. Now all of those dead zombies that were in here earlier are going to come back to life. The only thing hiding behind them is more shotgun shells. We don't even need to worry about that, so we can leave. We'll We'll head back across the bridge and try to pull that lever once again. That will lower the bridge so we can get back across there and go to where the airplane lift was earlier, and we'll grab all 3 of the proofs out of there. Just have your grenade launcher ready while we're crossing the bridge. Another hunter's going to hop out over here. Then we can take out our pistol to deal with some zombies on the other side of this shutter door. Try to aim for the explosive on that one's back just to make it quicker and easier. Pick up some shotgun shells off the floor on our way by. Then the other 2 we can just run around easy enough. We'll equip our grenade launcher before we head out here to where the airplane was. There's another hunter out here. Then we can interact with that panel to shut off the electricity. That way we can grab all 3 of the proofs out of the airport lift panel. Now that we have all 3 of those, let's head back across the bridge and go through that airport door that brings us to the elevator that we came down here on. Stop and unload some things in the box if you need to. We'll hop in the elevator. Just remember that there are 2 poisonous hunters once we get out of the elevator, so just stick to the wall to the left. Try to run to that front door as quick as possible. Man, there I got slashed. Didn't actually get poisoned though, so that's a bonus. We'll hop back on the turntable and go back down to the basement where the chem storage room was. We're going to head for that staircase right next to the shotgun that's on the wall and go back up to the elevator once again. We'll take that up to the first floor. We'll head to that room at the end of the hallway and we can stick the 3 proofs in their slots here to disable those 3 lasers. Then we can pull a lever and that will slide back the model of the palace, revealing a ladder that goes to the underground area where that crest dropped earlier in the cutscene. Before we head down there, let's pick up the herbs and the shotgun shells right next to that ladder. We'll keep our grenade launcher handy. There's a couple spiders down here. We can use that to kill them quickly and easily. Looks like that one doesn't want to drop, so let's just go ahead and grab the herb and the grenade rounds that are laying on the floor. We can use any of the single green herbs that we find to heal ourselves throughout the game. There are plenty more where that came from. But if that spider doesn't want to drop, let's just head down the next ladder. Now once we get down here, we'll go through a little cutscene showing off the crest that we need to grab. One problem is there is a fully grown albinoid in the water. So before we hop in there, let's run all the way to the end of the walkway. We can grab a box of handgun bullets here. And there's no reason to use any ammunition on this thing. We'll just run in here and grab the crest. He'll just keep shocking us. No big deal. We have plenty of healing items. Just try to get out of there as fast as possible so he doesn't kill you. But before we head up this ladder, there's a few more herbs we can grab off the floor in the corner here. Now we'll go into our inventory. We'll use that purple chemical that we mixed up earlier on that blue crest. We'll just be left with the gold piece. Finally, that spider decides he's going to drop down. Go ahead and kill him with that grenade launcher. Now we can finally get out of here. Let's head back to the elevator and go back down to the basement. Now that we've made all of our rounds around the entire property, we can finally grab the shotgun. That will raise up that staircase so we can walk through the water to a ladder on the other side. That will bring us up to that hallway where we first encountered a spider after we picked up that car battery. Make sure we pick up the 2 red herbs before we head up there. Never hurts to have more full healing items. We don't have to worry about the spiders in this hallway, and we're not going to make a stop at the safe room. Let's just head to the end of the hallway. We'll stick that gold piece in the door. This is where we left off playing as Claire. Now everything's all frozen and messed up over here. We'll use our grenade launcher on the 2 plant arms that are poking through the wall right here. Now let's head down the ladder. We'll go straight and take that second door on the left. We didn't even need to come in here as Claire because we didn't need anything that was in here. But we'll grab some handgun bullets off the shelf. Let's turn directly around and open that locker. We'll say no for picking up the aid spray, but yes to picking up the handgun bullets. And then one of the curtains around one of these bunks has dropped since earlier. There are some more regular grenade rounds we can grab from there. We'll stuff those right in our grenade launcher. Now we can head back out and go downstairs. We don't have to deal with the moths this time around, thank God. We'll head into the safe room. Right next to that cabinet you can see the outline of that gold piece that we have on us. We can go ahead and stuff that in there. That will open up that cabinet. We'll grab that cube paperweight. Make sure we come down and grab that before we move any further into the facility. Now we'll drop off everything that we don't need at the box. But let's just keep our handgun bullets, grenade launcher, and the paperweight. From here we can head back upstairs. We'll go through the double doors at the other end of the walkway. Now we have a big old block of ice that we can walk over to get to the other side of the walkway where it's broken on the other side of the room. Let's go in here first. We're going to grab that valve handle out of the gas pipe here. Now we'll have to go through a cutscene where all of these zombies are reanimating. Try to get away from them as quick as you can. Don't even waste ammo on them. Now let's run all the way to the other side of the walkway here. We'll go in the first door on our right. Re-equip our handgun. We'll just be dealing with a few regular zombies in here. Let's go in the caged area that we could not access as Claire earlier. We'll grab some shotgun shells and that briefcase off the shelf. We won't be able to open that until we play as Claire later on in the game because she's the one that has a lockpick. Grab the box of handgun bullets off that table. Now we can head out of here. Take a right and we'll hop down and hop back up onto the next half of the walkway. Head through the next door. We have another scanner after that cutscene that is impossible to avoid. So let's bust out our grenade launcher and kill the hunter that shows up. We'll head to the elevator at the end of the hall. Take a left out of there. We'll come back around here and just get ready to kill a poisoned hunter. Just to get that out of the way while we have the grenade launcher on us still. Now we'll head through the next door that was right across from that elevator. Head through the first door on Chris's left. It's our next safe room. Let's pick up whatever items we can find in here that we have room for before we dump everything in the box. Let's interact with this panel and use the valve handle to turn the power back on. We'll flip that switch to turn the power on to the rest of the building before we forget. Let's drop off a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need, but we're actually going to grab the shotgun and shotgun shells this time around just to take care of a whole bunch of zombies that are out in this hallway. I think there's a grand total of 6 or 7 zombies out in this hallway, so we can just keep unloading on them until they're all down. There's no way we'll use all of that shotgun ammo by the time the end of the game comes. Once they're all down, let's go in that door that's at the end of the hall. Oh, and would you look at that, a familiar room from the Spencer mansion. Let's grab the ammo off this little cabinet here. Then we'll head through this back hallway. Let's go to the Tiger. We'll remove one jewel at a time. One side will have a socket for our valve handle, the other side will be bullets for our Magnum. Then we'll have to put both of those jewels back. We can't interact with that again until later after we shut the power off. Now let's turn back around. We'll go through that door into the elevator. After this cutscene right on the floor at our feet, there's one of the dragonfly wings for the dragonfly key. Don't even bother going in the room to the left, there's nothing in there that we need. We'll just head to the room on the right. We'll interact with the panel on the right side of the room once we get in here. It gives you a little bit of a riddle. You can line all that up with that paperweight that you have in your inventory, but it's pretty much just putting those symbols in flip-flopped. So instead of heart, spade, A's, and crown, we'll go A's, crown, heart, spade. Then we can put the paperweight in that little drawer that just popped open. Now a cutscene will play, that guy will fall out of his pod. Let's grab the blinky item next to him, that's his ring. We can check that in our inventory to remove the gemstone from the ring. Now let's head back to the elevator to take us back upstairs. Let's head back to the safe room and we'll drop off a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need. Then we'll come back out here and pick up all of the herbs that are in the hallway. Let's flip off that power switch while we're in here before we forget. We'll need to do that so we can grab those 2 gemstones out of the tiger's eyes at the same time a little bit later on. So let's hit the box, we'll grab our valve handle. We'll put away the shotgun and the shotgun shells, along with the magnum shells. We'll keep the rest of this stuff on us. We'll combine that socket with our valve handle. And last but not least, let's grab the fire extinguisher. Now we'll head out here, we'll pick up all of the herbs that we can find, we'll drop those back off in the box in the safe room before we go any further. Now we can head back out. We'll take that first door on our right and then go straight across back to the elevator that brought us down here. Head to the other side of the hallway. We'll go through the big green double doors here. We can push that switch. That will bring up a barrel of extinguishant that we can refill our extinguisher with. Let's head up this lift at the end of the room here. We're going to use our valve handle right here on this valve. That will drain the water in this tank right next to us. Make sure you have your grenade launcher equipped, because we're going to go down this ladder and grab a key. Then a hunter will jump through the window, so we'll want to kill that as quick as we possibly can. Now we can head back up this ladder and go back down the lift. Then we'll go down the other lift that's in this room. That will actually bring us down to the weapons room that we were in earlier as Claire. We can use our fire extinguisher that we just filled up to put that fire out. And right on the other side of the fire that we just put out, we can grab the magnum off the top of that crate. Now we'll head back up that lift. Go out the double doors and take a right and go out that next door. We just grabbed a key for the crane, so we're going to head to the crane at the end of this walkway and use that. That will play a cutscene, yank a frozen and tied up Nosferatu out of the ice, and also reveal a giant spider. But let's just hop down off the walkway and run across the ice right next to the dead Nosferatu. We'll pick up the green blinky item next to him. That's another jewel we can pick out of the jewelry. Now we have the green and the blue one, we just need the red one. Let's head back up to the second half of the walkway here. We're going to head all the way to the end of the hallway, back down the elevator, right out to that little courtyard where we first killed the poison hunter. Now let's run out into the courtyard here before we head into the doors. We're going to run around and pick up a couple more wings for that dragonfly key. There's one on the ground right next to the carousel. Then we can hop down into the water. There's one more right next to this planter. Now we can finally head inside. To what looks to be another familiar room, a replica of the main entrance of the Spencer mansion. And we'll need a knife once we're in here, but don't worry if you didn't bring one along from the box in the safe room. There's one right upstairs. We'll need that to cut Claire out of the goop that she's trapped inside of right on the back side of the stairs. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and equip the Magnum. We'll need that right when we switch back to playing as Chris. Once we're done playing as Claire here in a minute, we'll cut her out of that trap that she's in, and then we'll start playing as her. We'll skip through all of those cutscenes. Now we're back to Claire. Let's turn to our right and pick up the two herbs that are on the floor. We have some handgun bullets on this table. And some shotgun shells on the couch right behind the table. Now let's go digging through the box a little bit. We'll put away everything that we don't need. We can combine all three of these herbs for Chris for later on. We'll put away our handgun and the handgun bullets. We'll grab that briefcase. Put the SMGs away. Grab that clip for the assault rifle that we grabbed as Chris earlier, and take out the shotgun. We'll only need that for a little bit here. Then we can lockpick open this briefcase in our inventory. That has a few more magnum shells for Chris for later on in the game. Now let's push this book cabinet out of the way. We'll stick the shotgun on the little fixture right here. That will open up a little secret compartment behind a painting at the end of the hallway. We have some regular grenade rounds and some flame grenade rounds in there. Let's grab those. And then we can go ahead and grab the shotgun back off that fixture. We'll throw all of that stuff in the box except for our assault rifle and the assault rifle clip. Now let's grab 2 green full heals for Claire. Equip our assault rifle, then we'll continue on through the next door. We'll have 2 of those big plant arms crash through the wall in here. Once we go through the next door, let's kill the 1 zombie that we have to deal with in this room. Then we'll head up these steps, inspect this cannon. A crystal cylinder will drop out of the cannon with a key card inside of it. We'll have to place that under this crushing mechanism here, and just be very careful. It's very easy to die at this point. But after we pick that up, let's run under the crushing mechanism to the other side, let it drop, and then as it's raising up, run right to the middle, get into your inventory. We'll place that on the floor. That will crush that. Run in there and grab that key card real quick. Then that thing will lock in place and you don't have to worry about being crushed by that anymore. Then we can head back down the steps to the right and go in this door on the left. We'll use that key card on this panel in here to open up this gate. Skip over that cutscene. We'll run all the way to the end of this corridor. We'll see Steve in the chair. He will transform into a nasty looking monster and come chasing after us. Don't even bother trying to shoot him, just run away to that gate that we just came through. Right when you get hit, make sure you use a healing item because you cannot get hit twice in a row without dying. But after we get hit the second time, we should be able to make it to that gate no problem. Then once all those cutscenes are done, we'll be back to playing as Chris. Go right into our next boss fight here. We should just be able to shoot her with our Magnum 4 or 5 times. And that last red jewel that we need will pop up right there at the bottom of the staircase. So let's go ahead and grab that off the floor. We'll peel that out of the piece of jewelry that it's set into. Now we have all 3 of the gemstones that we need. We can stick those in the painting at the top of the stairs here. And that will slide down, revealing a secret door behind it. Let's go ahead and head through that door. You can deal with these zombies if you want to, but once you come back into this hallway later on, they will all respawn anyways, so it's totally up to you. Either you're wasting some healing items or you're wasting bullets. Doesn't really matter since we have plenty of handgun bullets and we probably won't be able to go through all of them before we get to the end of the game anyways. Now let's finally head through this door. We'll open up the drawer on the desk here. Inside the drawer is the sterile room key. Now we can head back out to the main entrance hall of what looks like the Spencer Mansion. Let's take a left at the bottom of the staircase. We'll use that sterile room key on the double doors over here. That will bring us into this room that we were in earlier. We can head to the back of this hallway once again now that the power is off. Grab the 2 gemstones out of the tiger's eyes. Now let's head back up that main staircase through that door that we just came from. And there, all the zombies just respawned anyway, so it didn't really matter that we took them out. If we end up getting chewed up a little bit, there's a couple single green herbs down at the end of the hallway here. But now once we're finally in here, we can go ahead and stick the blue gemstone in this music box that's in here. And in this mirrored version of these rooms that look exactly the same as they did in the castle, the statue-looking thing in the middle of the room is actually a door over to the next room. We'll interact with the music box that's in here. That will close. Then we can use that red gemstone on that. That will open it back up so we can grab the music plate. Now we'll head back through this middle door, put the music plate in the other music box, and just like in the castle, that will lower down the top half of this bed so we can get up the ladder that's up there. Up here there's a container full of sand on the table that has the dragonfly key inside of it. Let's grab that. Handgun bullets right on the corner of the table. And a green herb in the corner of the room. Now we can head back down that ladder. Let's head back out into the hallway. Instead of going back out to the main hall, let's go through the double doors on the left side here. We'll head down this lift. We have some handgun bullets we can pick up down here. We actually really don't need those. It's not like we're going to be using the handgun much here in a minute. But we'll interact with this panel with the blue light. That will open up that glass case. Grab our last dragonfly wing that we need for the key. Let's go ahead and combine those together. Now we can head back up the lift. We'll grab a couple more green herbs before we head up the steps to the right here. Brings us out to that hallway where we killed the big plant arms as Claire just a little bit ago. Let's go to Chris's right to the end of the hallway and hit that safe room real quick. We're just about to head to the very last boss fight, so we're going to load up on everything that we'll need for that. So we can get rid of our handgun and our handgun bullets. We'll get rid of that knife. We'll grab as many brown herb mixtures as we can. Let's load the flame rounds into our grenade launcher and we'll get rid of the rest of the regular grenades. We'll keep the acid rounds on us just in case we might need those. Let's equip the Magnum before we leave. Now let's head to the other end of the hallway. Once we go through this door, we'll go through one last cutscene. We can't pick up that item quite yet, even though we're going to need that here in a second, but that's alright. We're going to head upstairs. We'll use our dragonfly key and then turn back around and come and grab that. Now once we pick up the security file, let's open up our inventory, we'll check that, scroll around to the front of the book. Inside there will be a key card. Now we can head back upstairs through the door that we just unlocked with our dragonfly key. If there's a zombie in your way, don't use the Magnum. We'll use one of the acid rounds in the grenade launcher, since those are pretty expendable. But let's make sure we re-equip our Magnum before we head back out of here. We'll interact with this console. We'll use that key card that we just acquired. We're going to start the self-destruct timer. Enter the security code. The code is right in the name of the game. Code Veronica. And now after this cutscene, be prepared for one of the worst boss fights in gaming history.
All doors are now unlocked.
So let's skip through all of these cutscenes. She will try to attack Claire. We'll shoot her once with the Magnum. That will play another cutscene that we can skip right over. Let's go ahead and unload all of the Magnum rounds that we have on her. Then we have these little slugs that pop out of her. They'll jump at us or whip us with their little vines, so it's really easy to get stun locked around here. So I just like to run back and forth from corner to corner. And that green mist is the reason that we wanted to bring all of the brown herb mixtures, just because that can poison us throughout the fight. Yeah, you barely have time to get 1 or 2 shots off before you're stun locked for the next time. Just keep trying to shoot as fast as possible. Keep checking your health level in your inventory. Then we'll switch over to our grenade launcher with the flame rounds. And this isn't even the worst part of the fight quite yet. Now once you finally see that cutscene, that's the first phase of the fight done. That will release the linear launcher right behind us. That has unlimited ammunition, but in my personal opinion, this is the worst part of the fight, because she can keep attacking you while she's flying all over the place. and she'll just keep dodging out of the way of the projectiles from this thing. Try to study her pattern a little bit and lead your shot, or just keep shooting at her. Eventually you'll hit her at some point, and once you finally do, you'll hit that last cutscene of her exploding, and then we'll have a whole bunch more cutscenes playing right after this. You can skip through all of that to finally get to the last end screen.
The self.
And there we got our A ranking in just over 2 hours and 20 minutes. And that will also unlock the rocket launcher with infinite ammunition for your subsequent playthroughs. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, requests, or comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you liked this video and found this video helpful, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If you enjoy the content that I produce and want to keep up with any future videos or projects that I'm working on, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.